All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I'm doing wonderful. And you? How was your weekend?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Great weekend with family and friends, and again, just having a good time. I love this time of the year, man. This time of the year is it's really nice. How about yourself?
We're color
Peter?
matched today. We're color matched. Look at us.
Yeah, we got the blue, dark bluish on today.
Both going blue. All right.
There
Yeah,
you
it's,
go. There you go.
we'll see what this week brings. Last week of October, Halloween's this week. It's we're coming into winter session, I guess, soon.
Yeah, we sure are. Friends, let's take a quick look at our gappers list this morning and how we're starting off this week. Welcome over our friends over on YouTube. I'm not in the members chat yet, but I will be logging in shortly. But welcome, guys, over on YouTube. Good to see you there. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Get comfortable. If you're first time here, subscribe. We'd love to have you back tomorrow and a future show. So, gappers list right now, we are looking at a couple of stuff, a lot of stuff actually in the green today. As you see here, we're scrolling through that. There's plenty there this morning, including a lot of Bitcoin tickers on deck, a couple of Magnificent Seven on here. American Airlines is on here. So a lot of tickers that we know very well are making this list this morning. And the gap down, on the other hand, just a few, only 4 tickers, and they all seem to be related. They seem to be oil and gas tickers this morning, Oxy BP. And I'm not sure if not TSM, but what's this one? MN. Let's move this a little bigger. MNRP. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll look at that as well. All right. Let's get to it. Before we do that, Peter, for U.S. economic calendar this morning, what do we have lined up for today?
Well, we're starting very slow this week. It's going to build as we get towards the end of the week with lots of numbers coming out. But for today, not much. In fact, the only thing we have is really this Dallas Fed manufacturing, which I almost didn't even put on the list. It's not really something that I normally follow or worry about, but that will be coming out at 10:30. But that's it. That's all we got today. Later this week, we do have everything from consumer confidence tomorrow, the GDP numbers on Wednesday, the PCE number coming out on Thursday, and then all the employment stuff on Friday. So it will get more interesting as the week goes on, but for today, it is pretty quiet, which means we've got to rely on earnings. If we look at the earnings calendar, there's quite a number of companies still to report. Once again, today, pretty quiet. Not a lot coming out today, but later this week you can see more coming out with PayPal and some semis with my buddy AMD, for example. We've got Meta later in the week, our friend Roku, Uber, Intel. Anyways, lots of stuff. But for today, quiet. So we'll just look at that gappers list that Carlos was mentioning and see what we can find. See if we can pick a couple of gems off of that.
Yeah, absolutely. We got definitely a lot to go through here on the gap up list for the most part. Let's dive right in. So first, we'll look at the top 5 right on this list. We're not going to get through everything. We'll look at the top 5. We'll look at Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. I see there's a lot of them making this list today. And then we'll hop around a little bit and see what tickers we like that we might be interested on. There's a lot on here. We won't go through every single one of them, but I want to make sure we leave time for you guys to throw some stuff at us that you want us to take a look at. So first one on deck, AMIX this morning. So if we look at this, we are high fly up 65% today. 2.9 million shares traded. Hard to borrow with Interactive Brokers. Autonomics Medical. Autonomics Medical. If I'm pronouncing that correctly. Peter, what's the latest and greatest on this low flow stock, by the way? Sitting, I'll get to the flow in a second here. 14 million shares float.
Yeah, it's sort of things started going weird here. I'm doing some laundry in the other room and it must be unbalanced because it's shaking the room in here. Little strange to feel like I'm in a one of those massaging chairs. Anyways, all right, so let's talk stocks. Autonomics Medical, never heard of them, but it is Monday, which means we get some of our biotech, and this is a medical device company, but they seem to have their announcements always over the weekend, right, and come out on the Monday. So they do have positive preliminary results for some new technology, an RF ablation technology, which is going to reduce opioid use. I'm not quite sure how that works, to be honest, but doesn't matter if I do or not. That's the news. They've got a positive treatment out there, and that's why we're seeing this stock jump this morning.
All right, there it is, friends. That's the reason for that one. Again, low flow stock flying today. Just be careful. We've seen a lot of low flow stocks making their way to our gappers list lately. Some very explosive. You guys remember UP? What is it? UP XI or IX? Yeah, this
Oh,
one
from
here
last week.
was one that was, yeah, from last week. And there were many. There were many other ones that were actually very active. Some did trade very decent, but just be careful. I won't have this on my list. I mean, I don't like it as much. I'm gonna move on to the next one, which is fun. Fun. Speaking of low floats, back on the list again. So the float on this one is 11 million shares float, and today we're up 12% after a nice run over the last couple of days, especially last week. Had some really big moves to the upside. Again, this low flow looks to be active again today. 2.6 million shares traded. Peter, the fun continues on fun. Looks like here.
Yeah, no real new news. Last week, if you recall, on Thursday, we did talk about the fact that their CEO was retiring. Mike Snavely announced his retirement, and they've got an interim CEO coming off the board, a guy named Stephen Chen. So a little bit of switch up on the executive in the executive suite. This one we expect to be busier as we head towards the election. It typically was tied to DJT, which we also expect to be active. We're getting closer, Carlos. In fact, I understand that things are getting to a fevered pitch in the U.S. I mean, you just have to look at X, for example. They're going crazy with their partisan politics stuff, and I just anyway. So I understand. Like, are you getting like all the robocalls and I don't know lawn signs being desecrated, and I don't know, like it just seems like it's insanity across the US, but maybe I'm just getting a
Yeah,
subsection of news.
it it is, man. And they're not doing as much calls anymore. What they're doing is text. I mean, I have texts left and right from weird numbers. And I like what they do. They use local numbers. Like they won't use like a, I don't know, 329, right? I don't know what that is, or 809 or something. They'll use like a 551 or 347, right? To kind of get, oh, this will be a local person, right? But the texts are just nonstop. The ads, Peter, I'm not sure if you get political ads up there, if they're
I
misdirecting things, but
don't.
um, my YouTube ads are, you know, 8 out of 10 are are political ads everywhere on Instagram, on YouTube. It is aggressive the way they're marketing right now. So yeah, it's again we're
Wow.
what a day and a week away. So it's gonna be exciting.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, getting close. You got to weather the storm, I guess, until you get through this election cycle, whatever happens. But anyway, so fun is going to be busy until the election day, I would expect. But I don't know what to expect for today, Carlos. I mean, it's been on our list for what, almost 2 solid weeks now. And some days, you can get good movement. Like Friday, you did not. So who knows? Today, might be another opportunity for it to trade. If it's something that you're potentially interested in, then I would say put it on your list. I mean, we don't have a lot to pick from so far this morning.
Yeah, definitely. Not a lot that looks great so far. Let's take a look. The next one here is DJT. Speaking of political stuff, DJT up 8.2 this morning, 4 million shares traded. I mean, people just getting ahead of this. I mean, if this thing goes one way, this thing is going to be heavily in play. It's going to be in play either way. People are just making their bets a little bit early, I guess here. So up 8.3, 4 million shares traded right now. I mean, it's active. It's active. Is looking good. I'm going to add this over in our secondary list. Hard to trade though, even with the volume and movement. It's not an easy stock to trade. So we'll keep it on here. Numbers look great. We'll see at the market open if there's any opportunity on this. On Friday, by the way, we did get a nice little pop here and it actually looked very, very good. And we've seen not just Friday, a couple of days last week, we had this beautiful kind of daily breakout with a good continuation at the market open. So it is getting better to trade. Let's see if that continues here. Peter, your thoughts on DJT as we get closer to elections?
Yeah, not much more than we already said, and then you already outlined. It's getting a little bit better as we get towards elections. It is heavily tied to the election results, so I expect it to be active. Whether it's fun as a trading stock, I still, the jury's out for me because it's all speculation now until the votes start to get counted a week from Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? A week from Tuesday. Yeah, you won't. We're
Yep.
not going to know.
Yep. All right, friends, heading down to the next one on here is going to be, I see Run. Run is making its way in here this morning. There it is. Here's Run. Run right now, we are up 8.6, 227,000 shares traded. So not a whole lot of volume, but it's starting to get going this morning. The float on this one, not a low flow stock. We're actually sitting at 210 million. Oh, Sunrun. Oh, we know this before. I didn't put
Yep.
the names together. Yeah, it's the solar panel company. So they're running today. Peter, any news?
Yeah, over the weekend, they had a press release talking about how they are looking to provide rooftop solar systems for data centers. So, I mean, I don't think that I could see. I didn't really see a lot of customers lining up for that, but the thought is that they can use it as an emergency backup system. As you may know, running a data center, you always need some emergency backup power. And what you could do is use the solar powers to keep your batteries charged for when you've got your power outage systems, because they obviously it would take a lot of solar power to power a data center normally during normal operations, but you could use it to provide battery backup. So anyways, the suggestion is they've built a specific solution for data centers and that they've got a couple of customers, but I didn't see mention of who those customers were. So I thought that was sort of interesting that it was like, I'm not sure if that makes it theoretical or if they've actually made some installations, but that was the news. So enough to get them moving with a little bit of volume. Never traded this, so from a trading excitement, I feel like temper your enthusiasm on this one. Like, the pre-market volume doesn't look that good, and if that continues to the open, probably not going to be a lot of excitement on it.
Yeah, not great. Let's move on to the next one here, friends. I won't have that on my list. We have Tao. So Tao, Chinese education company. Normally, I don't watch this one.
Hmm.
It could very tricky at times, but they're on here today. They've been was Tao and EDU. Both of them have been making some noise over the last couple of days. I remember seeing them last week as well, a couple of times on here. They're on here today as also, but they just don't trade well. So I'm gonna be keeping that off my list. And here's the reason why. Look at the market open on this thing, right? So they'll gap up in the pre-market. This is pre-market here, right? You get the gap up. It's our scanners for whatever reason. And then look at the intraday trading. It's just brutal. And you get this quite a lot. So I'm not going to put any thoughts into these two. Um, some other ones that look a little bit better is going to be, let's talk about crypto, Peter. So I have crypto here. I got CleanSpark. I have IRN. I have Coin. I mean, you name it. Mara. Who else? Hood, all of them on here this morning. Anything going on with crypto? We got some movement there, looks like.
Well, usually we track Bitcoin prices first and foremost to see where this whole crypto market is going. And they are on the rise. Didn't actually move all that much this weekend, but we are challenging the $70,000 mark for Bitcoin. Last week, if you recall, we were sort of hovering a little bit lower than that, around 66 to 68,000. It looks like yesterday we did move up to get to just under 70. 69.6 is where we're sitting right now. So we could move over 70. Again, keep in mind always, right, that Bitcoin prices typically move either on the weekend or after market hours, so overnight from our perspective or from a U.S. market perspective. So pick any one of these that you want to trade. It looks like they're sort of in play. You could get some interesting, whether you want to trade Coin or Mara or any one of these. You could sort of pick one and see what happens. I'm going to watch from the sidelines for now, because like last week I was trying to keep an eye on Coin, and it really, I've found the movement lackluster. So, if I'm just going to watch something, I'd rather watch the semiconductors that at least I know are definitely going to move for me.
Yeah, I agree. It might not be. It's a hit or miss with these things. You just never know. I'm gonna put Mara on my secondary and Coin. Those are the two that I mostly look at, just in case there's any kind of movement. Mara does have good volume, 1.3 million shares traded today. Coin is usually on the lighter side with the volume. If they are gonna guess something, volume will come in usually after the market opens. So we'll put this on a secondary. We'll come back to them. All right, I think that covers our top five. Let's jump around here a little bit. We're gonna look at travel. I see American Airlines and CCL here, so let's look at those two. So CCL this morning, 782,000 shares traded, so not a whole lot happening there. And then we have American Airlines with 800,000, but up 3.4. They've been steadily climbing out of $9 here, 917. You can see that move over the last couple of months. Peter, anything in that travel sector that's moving these things up today?
Last week we had talked a little bit about the fact that some of the cruise volumes were higher, and it looks like just a couple of follow-up articles that does seem that bookings continue to stay high. The industry looks healthy, but nothing exceptional on that. I know that some of the cruise lines have been using the good booking rates and sailing volumes, I guess, to pay down some debt. That was all accumulated over the pandemic, as you could imagine, right? It costs a lot to maintain a fleet of ships, and they sort of got into a lot of debt over COVID when there was no sailings happening whatsoever, and they couldn't service that debt. So, but yeah, I'm not really seeing a lot new. Like I don't see big news that would cause these things to move this week, and I don't know. Did we already have? Or I can't remember, Carlos. Have we had earnings on these this week? I'll check it out right now here. When's CCL earnings? Do they
Yeah,
already
American
happen?
Airlines. Let's see. I know some airlines did. It looks like American Airlines did as well, October
Uh,
24th. They did a pre-market. So yeah, we saw that. I know Delta did because
Switched
we talked
airlines
about
on me.
that one.
Oh yeah, it didn't
Um,
go. Yeah,
oh yeah, and then
an
CCL. Well, I was
airline.
talking about travel, everything, right? CCL
Yeah.
is next. No, CCL happened already. September 30th pre-market. So that was some time ago. So yeah, I don't see any earnings on here, but
No, I
they
think
are coming
they
up.
they already happened. Definitely on CCL. I just looked that up. They had their earnings already, so nothing too interesting. It looks like American. Yeah, I mean all the airlines I think already had their earnings as well. American had some
Yeah.
interesting news. I haven't seen this, but apparently American Airlines is testing some technology that is going to audibly shame line cutters. I thought that was sort of interesting. I mean, I don't know. Isn't that somebody yelling at you? Like, I'm not sure what technology they sort of don't go into details about what this is, but if anybody here is flying out of Albuquerque, apparently in the Albuquerque airport in New Mexico, sorry, also Tucson and Ronald Reagan, Washington. Okay, so look, we've got a couple of airports that are going to be testing this. I don't know, this automated system that they're going to. Oh, I see what's going to happen. All right. So when you scan your ticket, it's basically going to shame you by giving like a big
Red
some
light.
sound. Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
basically, if you try and board ahead of your group,
Group. Yeah,
it's going
I
to
could
try
see
and
that.
audibly
Mhm.
shame you for doing that. So I mean, isn't that the job of the gate agent to say, "I'm sorry, this is not your group. Back in the line, buddy." Like, are
I
they?
think when they're doing it
Is that
quick,
not?
when they're doing it quick, they're just scanning, and once you scan, they're not gonna go in the computer to back you out again, right? You're already scanned in. So I don't think they're really looking at for the small number, making sure that's your group number. You just scan your boarding pass, and say you're in. But now, if the machine stops you, yeah, people are gonna actually follow the rule now. I can see that. Nobody wants to get red lighted.
All right. Well,
So
we'll see. We'll see how that
we'll
works.
see.
All right. So if somebody experiences that, yes, I love. Send us a video. That would be fun. They'll pants you.
Yeah.
Anyways.
uh,
All right. So
all right.
there you go. There's airline.
Let, let's see if that helps. All right, friends. That is our gap up. Peter, anything else on the gap up that you want to go over that maybe we haven't talked about yet?
Well, most things seem to be gapping up this morning. I mean, the two market indices, the SPY and the Qs, are moving up, and pretty much all the Magnificent Seven are slightly higher today. Not by a lot, but as I was running through Apple and Microsoft and you know Meta and pick your Amazon, they're all sort of gapping higher. Everything's green this morning, but not that exciting, right? Volumes are pretty much average, I will say. Look pretty much on track. Um, pick your poison today. It seems like everything is just moving nice and light, and you know, doing okay, but not exceptional. Like it feels like a pretty boring Monday so far.
Interesting that
People keep
one
mentioning
that does look
MSTR,
interesting. Which one? MS.
MSTR. What's TR? What's happening special here? I don't see anything special about it, really. It had some
They're on
big movement on
4.4.
Friday.
Right. Been on a tear over the last 2 months, really. I mean, for 117 at almost 250 now. It's just ranking here. So yeah, it's been trading well. It's been very active. Been very active. This morning they're up 4.5, almost a million shares traded. So yeah, they are active. Worth having on a secondary. This micro strategy has been doing pretty well as far as the daily. Intraday, I gotta tell you, I have not been watching it closely, so I don't know how their intraday trading has been. But worth watching it today if they continue like this, making new highs here, new recent highs. I don't know if that's all-time highs. We can check quickly. It looks like it is, man.
Yeah,
All-time
yeah, it
highs
is.
here, which is, yeah, they're ranking. Right, we'll keep it on there. We'll see, guys. Again, we'll have to see how they do in the intraday.
Mm. Speaking of highs, Tesla, if we want to talk about all of those companies, is
Yeah.
at an interesting spot, up at 270. Not an all-time high. I mean, it's got a ways to go to get to an all-time, but it's certainly at a short-term high over the last couple of months. I mean, the last time it was up here was in July, early July, and we're heading right back into that range. And if we can push higher again today, we're higher the last 2 days, as you can see. After their earnings, they moved higher and are keeping the fun going, I guess, so far this morning. Anyways, up 0.5%, but I'm still surprised at how much Tesla's moved, frankly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it does today, I think.
Yeah, I think it will. I'm gonna add this to my list. Up almost half a percent here and 2.7 million shares traded. So Tesla does look good today. We'll add that on there. All right, let's move to the gap down. Then we'll come back to what you guys have this morning. So get those tickers ready over on YouTube and in our chat as well. MNPR. So this was active. You guys remember last week? This went from like zero all the way to 38. Not zero, but like $5. All the way to 38. Came back down to 32. That was on Thursday. Then on Friday, we gapped down, sold off, and today we're gapping down some more. So I think the fun might be over on this. Float on this bad boy is a whopping 1.9 million, so extremely low flow stock. I'm surprised we have shares for sure with Interactive Brokers. We got 75,000 shares for sure, which is not a lot, but I'm surprised we have any at all. Usually, when things start falling apart like this, those shares disappear very quickly. But just be careful, guys. Really low flow stock. Fun might be over on this one, Peter.
Yeah, and it's just this is just a second day play, right? They are just you're coming back down after last week's excitement, where they announced that they were in an agreement with AstraZeneca, one of the big boys of the industry, to develop a late stage drug. So yeah, I think it's just going to be steady, light volume,
Yeah.
steady. I'm surprised it even made our list this morning. Probably not that exciting to trade. Probably.
Yeah. This is dangerous time here, so be very careful, guys. All right, let's take a look at even if you think it's just going to drop down, you want to go short on this thing. The pullback could be so aggressive that can still put you in a very tight situation. So just be mindful of that. Nothing is for sure, right? Even though this thing looks like it's going to hit zero any minute now. Let's take a look at the next one on his BP. BP down 2.7, 247,000 shares traded. Again, not normally a great intraday trading ticker. Makes our list because it does gap up and down quite a bit. Look at this daily, bounces all over the place. Today, though, the interesting about it is on the daily, you're getting close to this low that we've been battling since September. We've been able to kind of manage and stay above. Every time we came here, we found a way to shoot back up to 33. Same thing here, end of September, back up to 33. And again, here, though, the last time, only up to 31, 32. So a little bit less every time. So they were gapping down. Not sure if that level is going to support. That's the only interesting thing I see here. Other than that, this is not a great intraday trading ticker. Peter, any news on BP this morning?
Well, crude oil prices slid over the weekend. They went down a little bit. So that would affect all of the companies, right? Whether it's Occidental Petroleum or ExxonMobil or BP, pick any of them. BP just happens to be the one that's on our list this morning. But, it's hard to trade oil prices in the stock because it's sort of indirect, and they're often dual traded, like BP is dual traded. So, oil prices slid. Interesting if you follow it. For me, I'm not going to pay any attention. It's tough to trade.
Yeah, very difficult. And Oxy is on here. So again, similar situation. Also, they're down, but
Yeah.
again, not a lot of volume and not heavily in place. So we'll skip on that one. We got some more that are coming on and off this list. NFE is down here. Doesn't look great. I mean, they just got looks like one couple of shares here, 700,000 down 2.2, but it looks horrible. So we'll leave that alone. One that might be very interesting is BA. So BA's got some good movement today. We're down 2% right now. But we were in the green just at 7:15. Nicely in the green here, above the previous day close, and now slamming back down to the red side with 723,000 shares traded, which is actually, I want to say, on the higher side when it comes to BA. They don't normally trade a lot of volume pre-market. So this is a good activity, Peter. What's going on with BA? There always seems to be something happening. Um, Usually on the sides. What's the latest and greatest on this stock?
Yeah, so a couple of interesting bits of news. Boeing has been on a roller coaster, not from the stock price or the trading perspective, but certainly within the business, right? So they thought they had a deal with the machinists union, and that was good news. And then the machinists union rejected it, so they're back on strike. So bad news. They have announced that over the weekend that they are exploring selling a bunch of their held shares and issuing a secondary because they need to raise some money. They're looking to raise somewhere around 19 to 20 billion dollars, which makes sense because they've been bled, if you will, by this strike action, because it's costing them a lot of money. Some estimates were up to $500 million a day, yeah, it's not good news as they have to delay, of course, a lot of their big production lines because of the machinist strike. So the fact that they're looking at raising money is, usually that's a drawdown against the stock, especially as you put more shares out in the market. That tends to devalue them slightly. So we'll see if they do that, especially if they're going to also issue a secondary. And then last but not least, there's a rumor. I could say it's only a rumor because it has not been confirmed. Company executives that they're looking at selling their space business. Now, interesting time to sell it because the company has been struggling, like I just talked about, from their typical sort of airline business. But the space side hasn't been doing that well either, right? Because remember, they were the ones that they had their failed, I don't know, what do you call it's not a shuttle, it's just a spacecraft. I'm not, anyways, they're whatever thing. It didn't work as expected. And they had some problems last time they sort of launched their vessel, and issues that left some poor people on the International Space Station. Can you imagine, like, your flight is delayed by like 6 months? Like, we complain if you get left at the airport by 6 hours. Can you imagine, like, being left? And they're saying now that they're not going to be able to get these the people trapped at the space station back until 2025, so next year, because of the Boeing. Was it the Boeing? I can't remember the name of their craft, their spacecraft. Help me out here, people. What the heck's it
Yeah,
called? What
I forgot. I
space
don't recall it, but yeah, this
Starliner? I know it had a liner.
Starliner.
There we go, the Starliner.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, and it wasn't just one problem. Like, it had multiple problems. That was really why they had to completely scrap it, and scrap the return flight, that is, and leave the people's. I mean, I keep thinking, I assume that they've got enough food going on up there, so I presume. But again,
yeah.
I guess they
I
could
think they
probably more
sent them
readily.
food. Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
sent
I
them.
think they can
They
more
could
readily
send
fly
stuff,
things
right?
up. Like, it's easier to
Yeah,
get things into space these days than it is to get things back. So,
Right,
anyways,
right.
so yeah, but it's still, can you imagine, like, imagine the overtime you'd
Hey,
be
honey,
earning
I'll be
stuck
back
at
in a
Expo 6
month.
months.
And then you say, you
Yeah.
know what? I changed my mind. I'm coming back in a couple of months. Yes, it's not gonna
Yeah.
fly well.
It's
Uh,
not even you changing your mind, right? You're like, honey, my flight was
yeah,
delayed. Sorry, Al. It's gonna be a little late by six
yeah, yeah.
months. Anyway.
Oof,
All right. So
gosh.
yeah, so Boeing's had some interesting news recently and some troubles. But again, spinning off their space business right now feels like they're not going to get like the maximum value for it if they were to spin it off at this point. But and how many buyers could there be? Like, I don't know, like the existing space companies, I would think they wouldn't be in the market to buy Boeing, which would only leave a new entrant, which feels like it would be fraught with its own risks. Like, it's got to be very limited number of people that actually buy a space business. So I'm not sure. Again, the company hasn't confirmed that I can see. That's just sort of the rumors that are happening, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, or what we get out of the company over the next few days on this.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like something Elon will buy and just merge it into whatever he's doing. But who knows, man? All right, let's
I
let's
think
take a look here, guys.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just think he'd prefer
yeah.
to build it than buy it, but who knows? But like, yeah, he who would buy it? I mean, you've only got the billionaires out there who
Who
are actually
else? Hmm.
running space businesses, right? It's him or Bezos or Branson. Who else? Would be in the market?
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyways.
yeah. All right, friends. There it is. That is our gap up and down this morning. Pierre, let's go to you. Anything you like today that's not on the gap up and down?
Well, you mentioned Boeing already because that was the only one I was going to mention off the gap down list. It was noticeably sticking out there. It's interesting that TSM is also on the gap down list this morning. All the other semis are up, a little bit, 1 to 2%. TSM is down 2% this morning. And I said it's sort of the only semiconductor that seems to be down this morning. Um, they did have some news over the weekend that they had to halt some shipments after some chip problems, which is unusual. Normally, they're pretty good at regimenting their quality control and not having any issues. But they also found that they had some. What can I say? They had some chips in some Huawei devices that weren't supposed to be there. So that raises all sorts of concerns about, was it, did they mount the wrong chips on some boards that went to a competitor? That could be big problems in the industry because like the US, for example, has a lot of regulations about what technology can be sold to what countries. And if they have, I didn't get the details about what this chip was, but if it was like a protected AI chip that got into a Huawei product that wasn't supposed to, and I mean, it could raise the entire security and quality control and the outsourcing of this activity. So, yeah, it's anyways problematic for TSM so far this morning. We see that their stock is gapping down, and it may be in play. TSM is one that it's very rarely in play. So I might watch, like, if the rest of the industry stays green and it continues red through the morning, I might peek in on it regularly just to see what it's doing and see if there's maybe a short opportunity. But it may recover too, so who knows? But thought I'd mention it because it was sticking out. Carlos, other than that, we already talked about the oil industry. I said, with crude oil prices being down this morning, I was watching ExxonMobil, and usually the best trading of them is Occidental Petroleum. At least recently, Oxy. We used to watch them quite heavily, but not so much recently. But it's been on a downturn for, oh my god, like, I don't know, this entire year pretty much, right? Or at least since March. So I don't know if it's going to move a lot today, but keep an eye on the oil sector as well. That's about it. That's what I'm watching.
All right, there you go. Amber is set to buy. So reading comments on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Amber is set to buy Boeing. highly doubt it, man. Embraer is not a U.S. company, and I don't see U.S. letting Boeing go to somebody, another country. I highly doubt it, man. They'll probably block
Mm.
that. We'll see, man. We never know. We did hear about Embraer though trying to be another competitor for airlines. Remember that? So that was a while ago, but we haven't. That's going to take some years. By then we'll have flying cars, Peter. So airlines won't be as important. No,
Well, we're
we're still
getting
waiting.
closer. I mean, as I said, like ever since I was a kid and I used to watch the Jetsons, they promised me the flying cars. And with all these flying taxis, basically they're like giant drones, right? Human mounted drones.
Yeah.
It's they're getting closer. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, I won't be the first, but it'd be interesting to see them up there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, friends, let's go to you guys. See what you guys like this morning. Let's start here in our chat. So, friends, throw out your tickers. What do you got going on for today that you like so far? So let's see here. PLTR has been mentioned a couple of times, and Fred is saying all-time highs on PLTR. Let's take a look here. PLTR right now up 1.1, 1 million shares traded. Yeah, all-time highs. Very nice. Um, yeah, we could watch this one. I'm not a big fan of the intraday, but look at these guys, man. This year so far, they were
Yeah.
stuck at 20 for a couple of months, and then look at this now at 45, just continuing to break out. So could be interesting. You know what? We don't have a lot to watch. I can actually put it on my main list today. So there it is. POTR. We'll watch it closely. Let's see what can come out of this one. Nvidia is being thrown on here. Let's take a look at Nvidia, friends, and see what's happening with our good buddy Nvidia. It's just kind of been stuck here, right? Slightly below 145, slightly below their all-time highs. Not really doing a whole lot. Volume has definitely decreased. If you guys remember, the stock was doing like around this time, 907. 8 million very easily, 10 close to 10 million shares traded by the market open. We're not seeing that type of volume. Still great, don't get me wrong, but it's slightly lower than what we've seen in the past. Um, Always fun watching Nvidia, and on a day like today where there's not a whole lot of stuff happening, definitely Nvidia will be on the list. Like Tesla will be on here as well. Looks very good. And then I might move one of the Bitcoin stocks up, like Mara. I might end up putting Mara on my main list as well. So we'll do that there. What else, friends? Take a look here. We have NVIDIA BBT laptop. Not today. I think only Wednesdays. We'll see when Andrew comes on. Google. Let's take a look at Google this morning. They are up 2%, 508,000 shares traded, trying to get above their recent highs. It's just been stuck sideways here. This could be interesting. I'm not a big fan of the way this stock trades. I think out of the Magnificent Seven, this is probably the most difficult. Between this one and Meta, are the two most difficult ones to trade, right? And I find Meta to be even much better than Google at times. So I'll put it on a secondary, but again, not really my go-to. Looks great daily wise. Possible breakout here if we can get going. Yeah, I'll keep a close eye on it. I might move this up later if I don't find anything else. Professor Chaos on YouTube. We did look at Amazon. Amazon, again, it's just all of them are just kind of hanging out here, right? So it's not really giving you a whole lot. Like they all look pretty much the same. Not one is sticking out over the next when it comes to the Magnificent Seven or our semis. But Tesla, I do like Tesla, especially because of the last couple of days, the way it's been trading. We'll love to see how it's going to look here by the end of the week, right? What kind of movement we're going to get. So, besides that, if you look at Nvidia, if you look at Google, if you look at Meta, they're just kind of hanging out here, not really giving you a whole lot right now. So that could change, obviously, but again, there's nothing crazy significant about them at this time. All right, what else, friends? We do have Rivian. We haven't looked at that in a while. Let's take a look at our good buddy Rivian. What's the ticker? RIVN. There it is. Man,
Yeah.
this is turning into garbage a little bit, Peter. Here, roll the truck on this bad boy. This is not. Let's get that in there. Yeah, that's the sound. Beautiful stuff. Again, that truck sounds awesome, like on a smooth pavement. But yeah, this is not looking good, man. This is not looking good. So yeah, I don't like it here at all. We gotta wait for big news on this thing to get going again. It is trading really bad, and the volume too. You can see it's died down a little bit on the daily as well. So not a fan of it. Tesla is good. I definitely have that on deck. Chinese tickers. Let's take a look at PDD. Someone's mentioning this one. Too many P's on there. PDD. There it is. Quiet. Again, they had their moment here. end of September into October, they were really good, and a lot of it unfortunately happened overnight, so we didn't get a lot of play in it. Same thing with Baba. Just not a lot going on, man. They're just quiet for right now. Leland, you're giving us TVGN. TVGN. No, it's more of a penny stock. I see they got some volume here this morning, but aside from that, I'm not seeing anything great on it. So we'll skip this one. All right. With that said, friends, I think we looked at a few from you guys. One more here because I know you guys been mentioning ON quite a bit. So we got some action on ON down 4%, 882,000 shares traded. Horrible daily. Look how bad this is. So something clearly going on this morning, Peter. What's driving this today? If you have it up, if not, we can come back to it. But on is moving.
Yeah, it looks like. Did they have earnings? Yes, it did look like they had earnings. So they had earnings this morning, beat their numbers. They beat revenue and earnings per share. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they had a good quarter, and but their good quarter beat their numbers, but that's on declining revenue. So they did say that they told the market their revenue was going to be lower. Their revenue was lower, but still they beat their numbers. So that's the story on ON Semiconductor.
All right, it's dropping here. I'm going to put on my list right now. 1 million shares traded so far, down 6%. Let's see what this looks like in a couple of minutes. All right, friends, let's get over to our community events and announcement on what's happening this week. Peter's going to take you through that. We'll look at our moderators list, and then we'll get ready for some levels and get you ready for the market open. Go ahead, Peter.
Yes, indeed. We've got your usual slate of activity here in the chat room, which means that we're going to keep you busy this week. Starting today with 2 different classes for learning opportunity. Brendan is going to be leading off the week with his noon session on how to use DAS Trader Pro. Great platform if you want to be an active trader. There's lots of platforms to use out there. A lot of us in the chat room use it. It's one that I use to trade, but it's not always easy to set up and configure. So he helps you with that. If you've got questions or you just want to learn some new tricks, then attend that session on Monday. It's for all classes of membership, so it doesn't matter who you are. If you're part of the Bear Bull Trading community, you can join that at noon in the onboarding room. And then tonight, also for everybody who's a member, we have our general onboarding class. Carlos leads that, and it's a way to get oriented not only with the chat room, but with trading in general, and get all your questions answered to get you started. So that's at 8 p.m. tonight. So noon and 8 p.m. today are your 2 classes, both of which in the onboarding room. Tuesday, we talk strategy. This Tuesday, we've got John, who's going to share lessons from our Peak Capital Bootcamp and all those, the thousands of people that have gone through that. He's consolidating all those lessons and is going to sort of share those lessons learned with you at 8 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday, October the 29th. And the next week, Jared is going to be focusing on Spot Gamma, which is a good platform for intraday trading. He's going to help you understand how you can use it and incorporate it potentially into your trading strategies. So that's at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, November the 5th. Wednesday is Psychology Day, and this Wednesday we're going to be having Dr. Vanessa Charland with us, who's going to be talking about how you can change your brain to change your game. Love the title. She's going to talk about neuroplasticity and how you can leverage the way your brain functions to better trade. So that's at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, October the 30th. And the next week, Dr. Kenneth Reed will be with us on the all-important day of Wednesday, November 6th, talking about how you can plan for the planning impaired. I love that title. And the psychology ones tend to have the best titles on those. But anyways, how many of us I put my hand up that I am often planning impaired. So he's going to give us maybe some ideas of how you can get past that challenge. Wednesday, don't forget, we also have our Bookmap webinar, which happens midday. Nathan kindly spends an hour with our traders, helping them understand how they can use the Bookmap platform and apply it to their trading. Whether you've got it or you may just be bookmap curious, go to that session at noon on Wednesday, and he'll sort of walk you through bookmap and how it's used. If you're in the room, you may notice every morning Brian tends to show us his bookmap copy because he uses it. It just gives you an idea for some of the stuff he looks at and how he gets value from it. But you get more in depth with Nathan on Wednesdays at noon. And then, of course, Thursday, we do our 4 different mentorship sessions, starting with John at 11 a.m. We go to Jared and Megan, who talk options at 2. Lenny talks stocks once again at 4. And then we close out the day with Thor at 8 p.m. So those are the 4 sessions on Thursday. Fridays, as always, we give you the day off. You can focus on trading. You can ease into the weekend before you get ready for another week. If you want to join us in the Bearable chat room, we've got another sale going on. It is the spooky holiday season, so you can use the code SPOOKY50 to get 50% off our elite annual membership. That's posted on our website here. You can see it's a great deal. You get half price basically in that elite annual, which normally is a good deal. Now it makes it a fantastic deal, so you might want to take advantage of that. If you're not ready to make that commitment, then the basic or elite monthly, or of course you can always use the intro offer, which if you're listening right now, as always, is available one time for $1. We want to just give you every opportunity to experience the chat room and to just see if this is the community for you. Then you can go take advantage of that spooky deal, the Halloween sale that we've got, 50% off, Spooky50. There you go. Put that code in when you go to checkout, and you can take advantage of that. Where do you do that? You do that at bearabletraders.com. So go there, and that's where you can find all the data you need to join us. If you want information on the markets, the place I always send you is tradingterminal.com. It's where we go in the morning to get our details, get the scanners up and running, right? To understand what the calendar of events is. Earnings continue this week. We were showing you that earlier. We got the overall calendar that helps you understand what's happening. Of course, news and events, the Academy of Learning, all sorts of stuff available for you in tradingterminal.com. With that, I'll invite all of our moderators. Don't forget to get your lists in. I see a lot of you getting your lists in right now, so that's good. And we will set some levels right now. Then I'll let everybody out there know what our moderators are watching, and then we can head right into the open. We're getting close now. We're only 13 minutes away, so let's keep the show rolling, Carlos.
Yep, absolutely. We'll do levels quickly here, friends. If you are trading live with this morning, please log in. We'll switch over to you once you guys are ready. Tesla high of the pre-market this morning, sitting at 271.72. This thing has been trading well over the last couple of days. So we'll mark that high of the pre-market there. Also, that's the recent high from July. If we head over to the left, we do have higher numbers in August, September of last year. We're going to mark down a couple of levels here, 273.93, and then right up here at 278.53. Once you do that, you're set on Tesla. And then towards the bottom, you do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Moving on to BA, great volume this morning. Levels on this one are very easy. You're stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, and they're pretty much covering the high and the low of the pre-market for you. We're going to mark down 150 towards the bottom in case you do drop any further. And of course, the big level here at 146.35. Once you do that, guys, you're set on BA. Good volume this morning, down 1%. Looking forward to that one. POTR making all-time highs here this morning. High of the pre-market, 45.75. We'll put that on there. Low of the pre-market is all the way down at 44.36. And you have highs and lows doing a great job towards the bottom. Do not need to add anything more on PLTR. Last but not least is going to be NVIDIA. And I did take some off here. I took off Mara. And I took off on. I like them, but they're more on the secondary list. So we'll leave those there for now. I can always move them up if we like them. NVIDIA high of the pre-market, 143.45. And then towards the bottom, we're looking at 141.99. And once you do that, you're surrounded by the highs and lows. We've been stuck lately here, just slightly below their all-time highs and not really getting much movement. So we'll see what they do today. Decent volume. We'll see what the market open brings for them. All right, Peter, take us through our moderators list, what we have going on there, and then we'll get you to live trading over on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. We're sitting at 166 with almost 600 people watching. We'll love to be a little bit higher. Closer to that 300 mark is awesome. So there it is. Oh, I gotta like it myself. 166. There it is. So help us there, guys. It does make a difference. Thank you so much. All right, Peter.
You looking at BBT merch there. What's going on? Okay. All right. Let's get to
there's some merch there. Yeah.
There you go. hanging up there. All right. Anyways, our moderators, yes, they're starting to get in with their list. We've got Jared, who's going to be watching Tesla and Google. Also has got AMD and potentially even DJT on his list. Lenny, not first today, but he's in early with Tesla, Google, AMD, Boeing, American Airlines, NCLH. We didn't talk about that, but Norwegian Cruise Lines could be moving. And then IonQ. Thor is going to be watching Tesla, Nvidia, the market indices, is buying the Qs. Avi's going to be watching his usual, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, and Google. Pierre's got Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, and Amazon on his list. Phil talking Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, AMD, and Google. It is a Monday, which means it's not unusual not to have any IPOs or SPACs. We got nothing new coming out today. Megan is going to be watching Nvidia, Snow, one we didn't talk about, and Google. I'm going to be watching AMD, Tesla, and Nvidia. Also going to put an eye to TSM. We talked about earlier, Boeing and PLTR. You guys pointed out it is at this all-time high. Doesn't always move that well, but who knows, right? I'll put it on my list and just keep an eye on it. And Andrew, the man here, going to be watching Nvidia. I assume he means TSM and not TSMA. I don't know. Is TSMA even a ticker? Let me find out. TSMA. It's not even a thing. So let's assume he's going to be watching TSM, Apple, AMD, IonQ, and PLTR. I'll just remind everybody that our good buddy Brian is on vacation this week, and he is traveling around Europe. So we hope he has a lot of fun this week and next. But Andrew is here, and we've got support for him. Lenny and Pierre are going to be covering the week and in with Andrew, trading live. So as always, we've got our pair of live traders for you to take you through the open and the first hour of trading. So stay tuned for that. They're coming up in mere moments. Mere moments. They will be here. So, and it looks like we've got Pierre with us this morning. Look at that. So, and he got the memo.
Good morning.
He's wearing sort of the right colors. Good morning.
How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. How's your day going so far?
Good. Woke up a little bit late this morning, but here I am.
All right. Well, you're here now and in time for a good market open. So that's all that's important.
Yep.
My friends, we'll leave you with see Andrew there's getting ready to go as well, guys. Have a great trading day. Peter and I will be in chat. We'll let you guys prepare with Andrew and Pierre, guys. Take care.
Yeah, trade smart, everybody, and we will be back with you tomorrow morning. So take care, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Peter. So things looks interesting this morning. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Was that party going on last night?
No. No, relaxed
s-
weekend.
No, relaxed weekend. Oh, perfect. So too much relaxation, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So I actually never traded with you at the open, so it would be interesting to see how that
Yeah,
would go
first
with you.
time.
It's really fun with the, yeah, it would be really fun. So market is gapping up. I think we're very close to all-time high on the test on everything, Qs and SPY. So I think the Qs all-time high is at 503. SPY is at 505. So we are very close. Obviously, the usual suspects have been gapping up. There is this low float PRCT and PHUN fund. These are pretty active. That
Let's see.
might be worth looking at.
Hey, Andrew, Pierre, sorry to interrupt
Yes.
you. Could you guys share your screens in the chat?
Yes,
Thank you.
I am going to share my screen. Thanks for the reminder. Awesome, perfect. So what's the
All right,
Middle East
guys.
news? All right, so you should be able to see my screen, guys, in the chat room. Yeah, but it's a really good gap up day. That's a lot of things on the gap up. IBIT is also gapping up 3%.
And pretty good volume as well. I think that will be an
Yeah.
interesting open.
Yeah, super interesting. Tesla did 270 finally, which is a very important level. 270, which was a very, very important level for the 52-week high. 2 strong days. Meta is also gapping up 1.4%. There should be good opening range breakouts depending on the price action at the open. AMD is also interesting. So I am focusing on the usual suspects.
Yeah,
Which
same for
one is
me.
giving us-
Have Tesla, AMD, NVDA, Apple, usual stocks.
Jared is looking at MIAX. MIAX is super interesting, super active. The float for AIMX is about 15 million. So no shares for sure, but this one is a very big runner. Autonomics Medical. Let's find out what it is.
I think BA could be interesting as well today. Right now it's right at S4, which could be interesting spot for a rejection, the continuation lower. We'll see.
Boeing.
Someone is talking about DGT. Let's see, DGT has been crazy lately.
Yeah,
Up
is
another
DGT
9%. Oh my.
another 10%. Wow.
Look at the daily chart on that one. Crazy.
What a V-shaped recovery. Look at that. This is amazing. Look at that. Beautiful. Is that the market is betting on President Trump winning the election? Is that the
Yeah.
reason, or fundamentally
Yeah.
the company has changed?
Well,
Maybe the
what's that
company.
company doing? It's like a social
think
media company or something?
I think so. I think the main one is owns the Truth Social, which is uh, social media like Twitter. I don't know if it has other activities too or not. Probably chat room knows me better. So the pivot points public show, you actually get them automatically from your platform. If you're using DAS or any other platform, you automatically get it from them. Just add pivot points in there, and then you automatically use that. So DAS has it, the pivot points, and then if you're using other platforms, most of them they have it.
Yeah. All right, so 2 minutes here.
All right, 2 minutes.
It's like
done.
Apple.
Yeah.
Apple is going up a bit. Tesla is selling.
Apple is up. UPXI is UPX. No. Microsoft. No. Meta is also interesting. 1.6 up. Seems that market wants all-time high. Wood is up 8%.
Yeah, Meta has been trading pretty nicely lately. I know Avi has been trading Meta a lot.
I know he made
Yeah,
like 30
strong.
grand last Friday or something. He posted that. It was a
Mhm.
great profitable day for him. Is also super interesting. Wood is also interesting at 52-week high. I like that.
I think I'm also gonna add PLTR to my list. Could be interesting too. Daily chart is super strong.
PLTR is at all-time high or 52-week high? Is it all-time high? Shit, it's all-time high.
Yeah. Yeah, looks
Wow,
like it.
PLTR is also interesting. Yeah, I just don't have enough chart to watch all of this. I need to readjust my layout. All right, let's go.
All right, so market open.
Let's see. NVIDIA, as usual, super nice volume, near all-time high. Tesla, strong volume.
Oh,
Tesla
NVIDIA is
coming.
dropping here. Apple looks strong here. It's going
Yeah, I
over
can see.
R4.
What AMD doing? AMD is also closing as a doji potential opening range break up on AMD if it closes above the VWAP. AMD Apple hit also the scanner or 4. We get some long on AMD at 158.55, but I think my code server, because yeah, I'm long AMD at 158.50.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying. Only tricky thing about AMD here is that it's right at R4. Might
Yeah,
have
you're
trouble
right.
with that 159.
Yeah, I never closed above the VWAP. Let's see. They dropped. So I'm gonna get stopped out on AMD, guys. Gotta stop out on AMD. Very bad loss. NVIDIA went red.
Yeah, the Qs are dropping.
AMIX got halted. Daily chart
Nothing
on
yet for me.
AMD. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a great open. DJT. Oh, DJT is popping up nicely. Wow, it's good volume on DJT too. We can get a long on DJT. Let's see if we can get to 44. We can get long on DJT, 43.62. Let's see if we can get to 44. Long DJT at 43.68. It's kind of a late entry, but let's see if we can get to break a 44. SPY is coming up.
Yeah, DJT kind of did what you wanted to take on AMD. At first minute
Yeah, I
closing as
know.
a doji and then breaking out.
Exactly. Like I kind of got a late entry on it, but let's see if you can have the follow through on that. SPY is coming back up. Tesla is super garbage. I've actually never traded DJT. This is the first time that I'm trading DJT. I don't know exactly how the DJT trades. Let's see if we survive this pullback or not. A little bit more on DJT at 43.20. Even red Tesla is going down. SPY is holding above.
I grabbed a short at the VWAP on BA.
Shorted the VBA at the VWAP. Nice.
Having trouble breaking out over S4, so took it short. from 153.23. Let's see if we can lose and go towards 150.
All right, DJT is gonna go up. Let's see if DJT can do a 5-minute opening range break up. Here we go. Let's see if we can get to 44. Oh, beautiful. I'm partialing on DJT, guys.
Nice.
So I have a big size on DJT. I shouldn't have the big size on this, but hey guys, I'm heavy long on DJT. My average is at 43.40. Let's see if AMD comes up or not.
I think AMD have more downside here. It's trying to push here and no volume is coming in.
Meta. What did Meta do? Meta. Not fun. Yeah, beautiful guys on DJT. I'm gonna add a little bit on DJT here, 44.26. See if DJT has another push up. Yeah. AMD. If AMD comes up above the VWAP, I might take another long on it. But I need these two closes above the VWAP. Tesla is coming up. I'm getting it long on. I want to get it long on Tesla. Ah, shit, no. I don't like that. I'm gonna get it long on Tesla 270, 269. Tesla is making a 5-minute opening range engulfing. Oh,
Wow,
DJT guys.
is still going.
Yeah. 44.65. I'm long Tesla, guys. On average is 270. Let's see if you can get a breakout of the highs toward R3. There are some resistances up there, but that was a good squeeze. DJT. I have a very big size on DJT. I really shouldn't have that much size. So let me sell a little bit. Tesla.
Looks like it wants to go to 45. Looking
I know. Good. For that, yeah. Yeah, 45 is pretty good. The volume was super nice at it at the open. See if you can survive the Tesla.
Yeah, there goes 45. Almost.
Oh. Tesla. I'm getting a stop down on Tesla, guys, at 268.34. I got a stop down on Tesla. Tesla rejected that. Yeah, 44.99 is the top for DJT.
Yeah, I'm still short BA. Haven't partial yet. Looks like it's trying to hold 152 here.
Yeah, John, 45 is his number. 45, 45th president. So he's going to go to 45. I hope. And if he goes to 47, then he might win the election because he would be the 47th president. The high of this day is 46.13. Let's see if it survives this pullback or not.
That was a massive rejection of 270 on Tesla. Interesting.
Yeah, I know. Stupid. That was a good volume came in, but really good. The problem with the Tesla is kind of looks like a hangover, like it's not gapping up or down. It's just I'm long AMD, guys, at 157.80. I'm long AMD. I'm back long at AMD at 157.80. Because now it's squeezing. Same pattern that happened to Tesla. It wants to squeeze above the VWAP. So long AMD, I added more at 158.35. Let's see if it wants to go up. Long AMD, 157.90 and adding more at 158.40. Now it's squeezing above the VWAP. Maybe this is a trade that we were hoping to get for the breakout. Yeah, Tesla has no momentum to the upside. AMD can go for 158.80. R4 is at 158.90, maybe 159. That would be nice. So you guys can also see my screen in the chat room. Should be able to see my screen in the chat room.
Yeah, AMD have some big orders. 159, 160. It's a big seller there.
Well, that's good. Let's see if we can get there. Maybe IT is hitting the scanner. It's that one up too. AMIX is interesting. It's just getting halted all the time. Crazy volatility. So I don't know about the changes that they're proposing. It might actually increases the volatility of the market. Imagine if the money in China and UK or Singapore, the time zone is open for those ones. It might actually increase the volatility because the traders over there can join too. That's what we want, more volatility. Oh, you guys can't see my screen? Really?
I could see your
Did it
screen.
again.
It was fine for me.
Yeah, okay, I'll do it again. So, all right, so AMD, let's see if AMD can go to 159. Oh shit, DJT is coming down. Didn't hit, DJT never hit the 55, no? No, 45?
Wow, NVIDIA is still selling.
Yeah, this week.
NVIDIA would have been a nice short when it started trading sideways for a couple minutes, decreasing volume, and now volume is picking up. It was pretty clean. Wouldn't be surprised if Lenny took that one.
Come on, DJT. 45. Adding a little bit more on DJT, 44.26. Let's see if he can get to 45. Again,
See how
according to
the
John,
order book looks like.
Yeah, according to John, we should be able to hit the 45.
Yeah, there's a big order at 45. A lot of
Yes.
sellers there.
MD is still struggling, huh? MD is struggling. It doesn't seem that he wants to pop up. I'm still long on AMD, guys. My hope is we can actually squeeze above the VWAP. DJT, I'm also long, hoping to get to 45. Tesla is coming back up. Tesla has been disaster. But if it comes above the VWAP, I might actually take another long on Tesla. if it closes above the volume weighted average price, which is a blue line in my chart.
Yeah, because so far Tesla looks a little bit choppy here.
Yeah,
Hard
it's
to
like
trade.
a nut. Yeah, after 2 big days, usually we call them, Brian calls them hangover days. Like these hangover days are not fun. Yeah, AMD, I'm going to get stopped out again on AMD. AMD also failed. So I had another loss on AMD, guys, at 157.60. Yeah, AMD is not planning to go any higher. Oh, DJT, if you can go up to 45 without stopping me out, that would be cool. How's the chat on trading? Brendan, what did you do? AMD got stopped out and then you went long in it. Yeah, AMD was super hard to trade today. Same as Tesla. This
So some
AMIX is crazy. It's just can't trade it.
so some people were trading Meta. That was a really nice rejection from R6.
Yeah, that was nice.
I'm still in BA. It's really slow trade. It's consolidating here around the S6. We'll see if we can have a breakdown. I haven't partial yet, so we'll see. There's a big order on BA that just came out at 151.
Yeah, huh? BA 152 for a long or for a short BA?
I'm short from 153.21, pretty much from the VWAP.
All right, guys, I'm going to get back on AMD. It might be the biggest mistake of my life, but third time is a charm. I'm back on AMD. Let's see if this AMD wants to go back up or not. He just wanted to stop me out. 158.14. Let's see if this time wants to pop up. If I can get out of this trade break even, make the losses back, and I'm happy.
It's PLTR. PLTR did nothing. It's just choppy here.
AMD
Looks like
158.20.
Yeah, looks like
Yeah,
it's
just drove us
trying to here.
crazy. What's DJT doing? DJT is going back up. Going up, I think. Oh, yeah. Look at that. 45. Come on. Yes. 45th president.
There,
Yes.
oh,
Ah,
there you go.
45th president. Come on. You got to give 45 to.
Well, now it's going to 46. There's another big seller
Maybe
there.
if it's 47, then there's a good chance of President Trump get elected because 47 is his number. Okay, let's see AMD's doing. What's AMD doing? Yes. Has nothing to do these two together, guys. It was a joke. All right, AMD is also going up. Let's see if AMD can break a high of today. Yeah, that volume was breaking 45th. I should have get a screenshot on that. You get some AMD move too.
Yeah, the only thing with AMD is that we're in the selling range right now. If anything,
Yeah.
I will be interested in shorting AMD here.
Don't say that.
But
Long.
there,
Long for the third time.
but there's still a big
Actually,
order at 159, so might go there.
yeah, I'm very proud of my trade on DJT, honestly.
Andrew, did you see that story
Yes.
about Robinhood giving users a chance to buy Harris or Trump contracts? Futures, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. Interactive brokers are doing that as well. Interactive brokers forecaster. Let me send you the link for that. Is doing that, but I'm not sure if also Americans can do that too, because I think in America these kind of forecastings are a little bit uh, limited. I know in Canada I can bet um, for that. Let me send you the link. You'll actually find that our forecaster.
So the Qs are dropping here.
It's dropping. Everything is leaking. Brent, I'm gonna send a link for you to in Telegram. See the interactive brokers
Sure thing.
forecaster. It's very interesting, actually. If we want to show it, that would be very interesting too. All right, let's see where the DJT is. Oh, 46.17. There you go. Selling more on DJT, guys.
Wow. Wow, it's still going. Almost up 20% again. It's crazy.
This is amazing. Yeah, this is amazing.
So I got the link on screen.
Yeah, so if you see, the interactive brokers has that, and right now the bet for Kamala Harris is super low. It used to be higher, but now is 37%.
Wow.
The President Trump is 63%.
Crazy.
I think they have another one too. What was the big one that is offshore that Americans bet on that? It was Poly Market or something like that. Yeah, Poly Market. Yeah, that one is also. If you want to show that brand, I think Poly Market is one of the biggest one. The Peter Thiel owns that, the billionaire of Silicon Valley. And I was reading an article in Bloomberg about that, how these actually betting can impact the overall result, because when it's quickly, squeezed toward one candidate, it might be actually impacting the result of the um, election.
Yeah, I have it
And
on
yeah, a
screen
French
now.
trader. Yeah, so this one, yeah, the Poly Market, you can obviously, Poly Market is also, the Trump is 66% and Harris 34%. So I might actually do a newsletter about this today, because I read this really interesting article in Bloomberg about that as well. John Arthur's had a really nice article about how this betting has always been around, like a sport betting, but now the political betting has increased significantly, again because these Silicon Valley billionaires are into that. Like Peter Thiel is leading that. They want to make money out of everything, so they said, why not this? And this actually can impact the elections. Very interesting to see.
Yeah, not to
Hmm.
be political. This is apolitical, this statement. But these kind of polls, whether it's done by newspapers, when it shows one candidate ahead of another, it can not decentivize that person's electoral base to vote because they think they have it in the bag. And that's what happened to
Yeah.
Clinton. They just thought, oh, she has it, no problem. And they didn't need to vote. And she only lost by not too much. So
Yeah, it was in the article too. There is actually research on that. When there is a lot of betting or news, it's in the article of Bloomberg. I actually mentioned it in the newsletter today that it has happened before. Uh, and it's not a new thing. It was even back in the Roman Empire when they were finding the next pope, and the street of Vatican people were betting on the next pope as well. And then when the news gets out and the wage goes up on one the cardinal, and it was actually banned by the Catholic Church. They were really arresting like punishments, really serious punishment for people who were betting on that. It isn't that when these kind of numbers comes out, it demotivates the undecided voters or the people that they were planning to vote later. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so let's see if the DJT is gonna go up higher or not. I have a
Thor
pretty
took a
good
really
day.
nice trade on the futures. Look at that entry.
Yeah, it's the perfect and short on R3. Like that's what Thor always does, shorting at R3. It's, standard choppy trade.
So BA turned out really choppy. Still in that trade, but it's doing nothing right now since 934 has just been choppy here. We'll see. Still believe it's gonna break down. There's some big buyers on the order book. It's pretty much stuck at the pre-market low.
BA?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, very beautiful holding it.
Cosy
BA
driver,
is
the
a
next.
disaster.
Yeah, sorry,
Hmm?
sorry. I was just gonna respond to Cosy Driver asking me where's the next big buyer on BA. I see it on Bookmap at 151.
STR. That's MicroStrategy, John, huh? It has, oh yeah. So how's the Bitcoin going? Bitcoin is off at 69,000, yeah. I think MicroStrategy has a lot of Bitcoin holdings, so the price is kind of linked to.
Yeah, so tough to trade the casual suspect today, like AMD, NVDA, Tesla. They haven't done much. Looks pretty
Yeah,
sideways there.
super choppy, yeah. They were casual suspect this time. They're usually usual suspects, but they're casual suspect.
Yeah.
um, but DJT was good. DJT made my day. I had a big size on it too, so it was quite profitable. Let's see if it can stop me out or not. My average on the DJT is at 44, so AMD is coming back up, although it's super
BA
choppy.
broke
I think
down.
AMD, yeah.
Yeah. BA broke down low of the day with some decent volume. Let's see if it can continue there.
So Brian is having fun in Lisbon, huh? Right now. We are stuck here in the cold. He is in Lisbon having fun.
How's the weather looks like right now in Vancouver?
Vancouver is pretty like it's super fall. Like it's not super cold, but the rain, dark gray, like changes colors change. It's very beautiful though. Like the color changes here is super nice in Vancouver. I love this um, four season in Vancouver. Like everything is red and yellow, super beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah.
for the event in March. Never been to Vancouver. I'm excited to see the city.
Yeah, so it's gonna. I'm super excited too. You know, we have really, really good speakers for TED, and then for our own conference, it's gonna be amazing though. And we will soon register, open the registration, guys. The registration comes in two different tiers. So we have like 20 tickets at low price. We just want to see the how people, coming and attending, and then we increase the price. So if you want to come, guys, we encourage you to sign up early because you also give us a really good feedback of how many people are attending. Right, AMD is coming up. I'm still long on AMD. I want to see if AMD can eventually break this high of the day.
It's like Tesla is trying to bounce as well here. It's going
Yeah,
to the
Tesla
VWAP.
bounce back as well. Somebody called Tesla as a double bottom. Who was it? Somebody called Tesla as a double bottom. Tesla might be a long now for the break of high of the day. Red to green. AMD going up. I might actually add a little bit on AMD here, 158.40. Tesla could be a long too. Very nice. Yeah, Tesla is a long. Tesla looks like it wants to go higher.
Yeah, yeah, definitely strong. Look, when you see the volume increasing like that, that's a really strong sign. So someone in the chat asking me what made me decide to jump on BA. I liked it where it opened. When I see a stock opening right at S4 like that and chopping around S4 for a couple minutes, and when I saw the order book was looking also really bearish, that was enough for me to jump short. Especially when I saw that we lost the VWAP with the volume slowly increasing. That's what I like to see for a breakdown. And so far, looks like BA is breaking down. It's right at low of the day. Still have a big order at 151, so I believe we can go there. So it looks like the Qs are trying to bounce a little bit here. It's testing the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart, where so far it's looking like it's rejecting that moving average. Yeah, Tesla is still going. Brandon, you took that trade on Tesla. Looks like the kind of setup you will play. It was pretty clean with the increase in volume.
I am actually long on AMD. I'm ready to partial more, guys. There we go.
Oh,
So get
big
some.
volume there on AMD.
Yeah, AMD looks like it wants to go out. Tesla turned out to be super nice.
Andrew, Pierre, it's that time. Oh, Andrew left. Well, it's that time to ask for likes. It's after 10. We have 700 people, but we're only at 260 likes. I know you guys could do a lot better. We've seen you do a
Yeah.
lot better. Where are those likes?
Where are the likes, guys? YouTube guys, come on, 700 people, only 278 likes. That is not cool. What do you like us to do for you? Oh, we did trade nice today. Give us a like. AMD to 159. Oh, 352. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Thanks for the likes. Let's see if AMD can break 159. Guys, remember on YouTube, guys, you can see, you cannot see my screen and it's a little bit delayed. So if you want to see my screen and see the real-time screen, you can join us for $1. There's a link. There's a link in the chat room, so you can actually join us for $1 and be inside the community. Right. So let's see if AMD can break this freaking 159 or not. And DJT, I'm still long on DJT. Let's see if you can get to four back high of the day or not.
And that big order is still there on AMD. I believe at some point today is going to reach 159.
As long as it stays above the VWAP would be nice, but it has it's been
Yeah.
struggling. So
We got past 400 likes on YouTube.
yes, thank you guys. Thank you for your support. I appreciate the support, guys. If we get to 600 likes, we do the laptop giveaway tomorrow.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Lambo giveaway.
So my first target on BA will be 151. So another 60 cents. That's my first target.
I'm gonna add a little bit more on AMD, guys. Here, 158.70. Looks like he wants to go. Do we still have that on bookmap on 59? A big order?
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, still there.
That was a big rejection.
Yeah, there's definitely some action around that level. Even that candle we had at 1004, some big volume there.
Yeah, I know. Just quickly down. There was a big rejection. Yeah, overall, AMD doesn't seem like it wants to break out. So
Andrew, I'll be back in a minute. Just gonna go for some coffee.
go. Coffee is important. More than anything else is coffee. I'm getting out of my AMD guys position. I'm all out of my AMD position. I kind of bail on it. Focus on DJT. NVIDIA is coming up too. What time is it? 10. 10 is... AMIX is a nightmare. Just gapping up and then selling off constantly. PLTR. SPY coming back up.
Autofilled.
You guys can just get coffee quickly.
All right. So BA is still trading at low of the day here. AMD went back to the VWAP bounce. Yeah, AMD is in an interesting spot here. It's usually a spot where I would be interested in shorting. The only thing I don't like to short it is that big order at 159. So until I see that big order getting clear on the book, I won't be interested in shorting. But if I see that big order getting filled and trying to analyze what the VPA is giving me there, I could be interested in shorting AMD. So we'll see. In the meantime, I'm just patiently waiting on BA, see if we can reach that 151 target, and after that, we'll like to see 150. So a lot of patience on that trade. And AMD is rejecting again.
Yeah, AMD, I kind of build on it completely. I don't think it's going to do a nice breakout for us. So DJT was nice for me. I'm profitable for a day. I don't know if I want to take any other trade, force it. Tesla is also interesting, but if Tesla wants to do a breakout, PLTR was at all-time high. Didn't do anything.
You're still in DGT or?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Still 10,000 shares of DJT. Yeah.
Looks like it's holding here.
Yeah, I've actually still a big size on DJT. Let's see if we can go for the high of the day again. Okay, hello.
AMD is a tough one to trade. It's just some mixed signals there. It's going up, going down, really hard to read.
Yeah, okay, hello is super interesting. 16%. Is there news on it? Getting a scanner. Fuck, AMD eventually broke that. Fuck, man.
There goes the 159.
Yeah, damn it. Damn it. Yeah, okay though. Wow, super interesting. AMD eventually broke out. I should have stayed in there.
Yeah, some good volume is coming in right now. Yeah. It's breaking over R4.
Yeah, now broke off high pre-market. High pre-market 159.24. Yeah, AMD is in a good. I kind of bailed on it, honestly. I checked on it, and that turned out to be my biggest loss for the day. JT. Okay, low is super interesting. DJT is coming up too. Wow, look at that, guys. Let's see if it break of high of the day. DJT. I still have a big size on it. Let's see if you can
See
break
the
this.
total in
46.28 is a level back in July 15. It was a huge rejection. If we break that one, we can go easily to 47th.
Yeah, and there's a big
Spies,
seller at 47 as well.
47, yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised to see DGT at 50 today.
Yeah, actually wouldn't be either. So now that you said that, I might actually add a little bit more here at 46.4, 46.20. Let's see if we can break that. Like I took a very big size on it, but I shouldn't have because this is the first time that I'm trading this stock. This is a very volatile stock. You know, like you got to be careful. Like taking 20,000 shares is crazy on it. But I got my lesson for the first time.
So BA pop here, almost back to the VWAP. Decent volume as well. Let's see how it reacts around the VWAP.
He's also going super high. My new average on DJT is 44.12. Let's get to 44.12. He did a nice breakout.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brandon. Tesla could be interesting for long here. It pop over the VWAP and now it's just consolidating, but the volume is decreasing. Look at on the 5-minute chart how the candles are closing. Wouldn't be surprised if it decide to go here. Let's see what the Qs are doing here. It's right at the VWAP.
Come on, DJT, break the hype today. We won 46. Sorry, 47. We won 47.
Yeah, BA is such a slow trade. Still confident.
Leaking. Yeah.
Still waiting for 151. We'll see. It's not the most entertaining trading, but that's the way I trade.
Well, they shouldn't be trading shouldn't be entertaining at all. Like you really shouldn't have excitement in the trade. That would be like not a good sign.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, Brian, my stop is still in the same place. Got a lot of room there.
Oh, there you go. DJT is breaking. Let's see if we can get to 47. I'm long, heavy guys on it. Average 44.12. Oh, it is actually a headline for CNN. Trump's stock surge as traders predict an election victory. Interesting. Haha. So this is the headline that actually I see. This is the headline that I see in CNN about that. I just read it.
Yeah, the daily chart is insane on DGT. In about a month, from 11 something to almost 50. It's crazy.
Yeah, he added according to this, it added $9 billion of market cap.
Oh, nice. Brandon catch that trade on Tesla. That was really clean.
Oh yes,
Beautiful drop
beautiful.
there.
Yeah. Oh, Tesla's gonna be nice, guys. DJT 47.
Nice. A lot of people in the chat catch that move on Tesla.
On
That's
Tesla,
amazing.
huh? Yeah, nice, very beautiful. User
That's the
coming
beautiful
up.
thing about the chat room. Everybody helping each other to catch some trades like that. It's so
Oh, I got
valuable.
so many amazing tips. So many amazing tips in the chat room. Like people, like you have like 1,000 eye on the market that they're looking at different chart patterns. It's amazing. So if DJT hits 47, which I think traders want it, then that means that the 47th president is Donald Trump. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with it. Let's see. But it's going to be a really nice trade for me. AMD is also grinding up, huh? Maybe I should stop trading at the open and wait a little bit. Like after 15 minutes, my accuracy is pretty high and pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier to trade. I prefer waiting a little bit. I think around like 9:45, 10 a.m. Eastern time is the best time frame for me as well. Yeah, NVDA is weak. Interesting. Retest the VWAP. Now it's rejecting again. See how the order book looks like.
Which one, AMD?
NVDA looks bearish.
NVIDIA.
Some big
Yeah,
order.
NVIDIA is super difficult to trade.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 47, we're going to get that. SPY is coming above the VWAP, so SPY is going up. Guys, this is amazing. I wish I had still AMD and Tesla. It would have been a super nice day. So I'm going to put some order on DJT at 47. I'm going to sell 5,000 shares to sell at DJ at 5,000 shares at 47. It's going to hit that. I guarantee you it's going to hit 47.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost there.
Wait. No, not there, not there, not there. 47. Let's see. I promise you there's a big ask at 47.
Yeah, there's a big seller there. Still there.
We're going to get that.
Yeah, it's teasing you there.
I know. We're going to get that. We're going to get there. So it's interesting because today Jared is going to talk about the election volatility and the largest market cap earnings that we have ahead of us. So it would be a very, very interesting topic related to DJT that we traded today. And of course, next week, November 5th is the election, huh? Is the election is November 5th?
I think so, yeah.
November.
Yep, it's November 5th.
So yeah, it's quite very, very relevant for the next 2 weeks. So I'm actually super excited. And Jared usually knows what he's talking about. It's a very good AMD's 160.
Yeah, we have an interesting week of trading with all the earnings coming out, the election at the same time. It's
Yeah, this is spicy.
it's interesting timing for Brian to go on vacation.
I know. I mean, I think he gets the FOMO eventually joins. Like maybe he's right now jet lag or something, but I think he eventually joins. No. DJT, you're not going to. You are hitting 47 and then you're selling off. You know, I was in Atlanta last week and there was a rally. Vice President Harris had a rally. You know, I didn't know that I booked my flight there. Otherwise, I would have. I like to go to some of these rallies to see how it is, the energy of the candidates. And like, I'm not American, but it would be interesting to go and see the rallies.
Yeah. Yeah, looks intense.
Yeah, I mean the energy, and it should be very fun to watch. Like, you know, it's a different like watching a soccer or football from a stadium or actually from the TV. So when you're in the stadium, the energy of the wow, it's very, very interesting, very fun. But I couldn't change my flight, so it wasn't worth rebooking it. All right, so I don't think I'm gonna take any new trade. We're getting to the time of the day that I mean, for me, that you know, the opportunities are gone for momentum. Like AMD was super nice. Like I wish I was staying in there. Tesla was super nice. I wish I was staying in there too. But I made really good money on DJT. I'm still in there. And if DJT hits the 17, it would be super nice.
Yeah, that's all it takes. One good trade and that makes your day.
Yeah, and good risk management. Like if you have a really good trade, but you have like 3 very big losses, you're not going to come profitable. But when you actually control your losses, You can have 2, 3 losses and then one good trade and you come out profitable of that. That goes into all the mathematics of risk management and your risk reward.
Yeah.
So, guys on YouTube, again, remember, guys, if you want to come and join us for $1, and the reason that there is $1 is because one time we made it free. So you didn't need any credit card or anything. And then during one day, we received like 1,000 signups. And I was like, who are these guys? And then we noticed that there is a lot of bots are coming and signing up. I don't know why. I don't know who's doing it. These bots are constantly surfing the web, and then they create username and password and sign up. And the email, we could see the emails that they're using. Like they were all code xq11111@gmail.com or xq111. And I said, oh, that we have to put a $1 sign on it, and we don't store credit card. And then when we did that, there's nobody signing up. So that we realized that the way that we can stop bots is just putting a credit card over there. But we don't store the credit card, and it's not recharging it. All the credit cards are being processed by Stripe or PayPal. So yeah, if you want to join us, guys, you see my screen live entries and exits, and plus our community. I think as a $1, you have access to all the strategy videos and everything. So love to join you. Just have you over there. And if you get to 500 likes, we're gonna give a laptop giveaway today. So Jared is going to come today and he's going to talk about the big earnings that we have plus the election volatility. I'm very excited to see what Jared has to say. I read somewhere that if the President Trump is elected, is actually good for stocks for a short term, because usually if the tariffs they come and the short term helps the economy, but in the longer term they might have some effects. So that's what I read in Bloomberg article, one of the Bloomberg articles. But again, that's their opinion. Nobody really knows. That is it. So do we have Jared here?
Yep, Jared's ready to go.
All right. Now, Andrew, was good trading with you, and I'll be back as well tomorrow for another trading day in the morning. So
Awesome.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll see what the DJT doing. The only position that I have is DJT, which is coming down. Oh, there you go. This is coming down close to my stop loss, so I'm going to get a stop out on it.
Yeah. And for me, it's a similar situation with BA. Still short on BA, but now it's going back up over the view app. So I'll let you guys know in the chat room how I manage that trade.
Yeah, so I'm all out of DJT anyway, so I got to stop out. It didn't hit the 47. Bye.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Jared, what are you up to, brother? Who's going to win the election?
We'll see. That's not for me to answer.
Did you vote? Did you vote? This is the most election in history. Did you vote?
Not yet. I'm actually getting an
Last
echo.
minute
Give
vote.
me 1 second. Let's see. No, still got an echo. Give me 1 second. How about now? Let's see. That sounds better. Can you still hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
I might have had the tab switched there. So I'm gonna go ahead and share screen and get started. So let's kick off here and talk through a couple items for the week. All right. So should have my screen up, and I usually like to do these Monday sessions with some context. That way it's not just a bunch of data with no, I would say, like trade logic behind it. And from the perspective of our overall S&P 500 this week, we're seeing what I would consider to be fairly normal widening of volatility. And this is being priced into the entire week of trade. So, today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's a lot of things on deck this week, of which we're expecting more volatility, especially overnight. And I think that's kind of the kicker for our earnings week that we have ahead of us, a lot of this volatility is actually going to be overnight volatility. So depending on how specific stocks report and how they react to their earnings, there should be quintessentially a lot of price shift that we will wake up to and hopefully trade effectively intraday. But from the perspective of our weekly volatility, the SPX is pricing about 107 points higher or lower. And as you can see with the upper and lower boundaries here on my chart, that puts the volatility range for this week all the way up into 59.15 and then all the way down to about 5,700. And that's, of course, based on Friday's close, so not necessarily relevant to today's trade. We're starting a little gapped up, but we're not necessarily outside of the Friday session yet. So that type of volatility comes from all of our, obviously, uncertainty this week and our risk. And for traders, I think it's just knowing what's on deck this week, because it's not one or two things, it's a smorgasbord of a lot of different opportunities. So the one that's really in focus is going to be our earnings. We have things like Alphabet, so ticker symbol GOOGL or GOOG, depending on if you do the Class A or Class C listing. That's going to be probably our largest market cap offering so far in this earnings cycle. It's one of our Mag 7, and of course, it's one very notable tech name that's going to have a pretty large sentiment for the rest of the week. It's also got a lot of involvement with our AI sort of general market cycle that we're wrapped up in this year. So hopefully we see some, forward guidance and I would say good outlook from Alphabet. Other notable names, we have Visa sitting at about 500 billion, AMD about 270 billion, and then I would say a notable name, especially with the recent news, is McDonald's, coming in at a pretty reasonable 217 billion. So just from Tuesday, and some of these are going to be overnight trade, Tuesday afternoon, we're seeing quite a bit of market cap for earnings just in that first day. You pair that with the additional heavy hitters that we have. We have Microsoft, which is our third largest tech company right now, only beaten by Apple and Nvidia, along with Meta. So, Wednesday afternoon, we're looking at 5 trillion in market cap just from these two companies, approximately. And as you can tell, our volatility readings for these stocks, we'll kind of look at Meta in particular, tends to be quite high. We're usually looking anywhere from 7 to 12% volatility, depending on which ticker we're looking through. Eli Lilly, a very large name in the healthcare sector. I think it's close to the top, if not top 3, and Caterpillar. And then Thursday, we're rounding it out with, and I do want to double check this. Unfortunately, sometimes there are some listings that are slightly off. Got Microsoft, Meta, yep, and Amazon. Okay, so I was making sure that all those listings were correct. Yeah, we have Apple and Amazon coming in on Thursday. Amazon showing a morning report, and then Apple in the afternoon. The Amazon one's kind of surprising. Double check that. This is saying after market, trading terminal saying before market. And y'all get a sneak peek at my background there. So I might want to confirm the Amazon one, but the culmination of all this is that this entire week is not to be taken lightly. When you're an intraday trader, a lot of times we don't think of the overnight risk as being super relevant for anyone other than people holding that particular stock or that particular group of stocks. But when we're talking about this week in particular, this is going to have an overreaching effect for the entire Nasdaq, and of course the follow through in the S&P. So no matter which group of stocks we're really focused in on, all week we're very likely going to see huge jumps in our overnight trade, to the degree that whichever way particular names report, will likely see just a large surge in one direction based on pretty much every one of these trillion or higher market cap names. And as you can tell, we have 4 or 5 noteworthy ones this week, assuming everything with the listings there are accurate. So that should be accounted for, because it means as a trader, you might want to look into how much you're exposed to the market. If you have some key long positions, this might be a good week to mitigate some of that or to hedge it, if you want to stay engaged with the trade, just because the uncertainty of this week is high and these names could dramatically shift how the market is perceived. The second thing is there's a lot of earnings activity. So I won't be able to go through all of them. Here's another reference to John. But stocks like Alphabet, for example, that's the one that's coming up on Tuesday. It's a good day to start to inspect how the market is pricing this particular asset, whether it's looking more bullish or bearish. What sort of position is it being placed into? And we've got some supports that were marked up back in the later stages of April all the way into the early parts of May. We also have the previous earnings. So ironically, Alphabet has not been performing as of 2 earnings cycles ago. We're seeing some of that performance return, but we did lose essentially all of it in September. So we saw a full monthly style reversal and then some pickup into October. So just being able to kind of see where those previous earnings levels and reactions are. There's these 2 bars here, that whole area was where we gapped down from, along with this low being our support, and that's where we saw some September buying. Those would be some areas to not only consider for targeting, but also to kind of see if the option trade is suggesting those areas are going to be relevant. And our normal workflow here is to dig into the option market, start to look at the weekly pricing for volatility. In this case, we're looking at what's called the expected move for the week. This is a number that is based roughly on the supply and demand of the option trade, and it gives you a sense of how volatile that asset's going to be in an implied approach. So obviously nothing is perfect, but it's implying certain amounts of risk, and that risk is non-directional, so it could be bullish or bearish. At a glance, when looking at Alphabet's trade, I do see some call buying going on in the 175s, and we have about a $168 asset right now. So there's definitely that bullish skew starting to show in those upper levels. And you can kind of notice 175 is our last earnings drop-off point. It's essentially equivalent to the gap down that started the August downtrend or the August sell-off. In a similar way, do I see a lot of put buying, or do I see anybody kind of hedging further downside? Well, we've got some 160s that are coming in this morning. That'll probably grow into the earnings, but our expected move is plus or minus 10. So depending on how this asset closes into Tuesday and kind of getting a better sense of the closing price, we should be looking quintessentially more towards those higher OI call volume and potentially the interest to the upside, with the assumption that there is some backing of that bullish nature in the earnings. I would also argue there's a bit of a weekly inverse head and shoulder. You can kind of see the structure here on a technical level, and I think a lot of traders today are trying to get that neckline break to kind of get going. But obviously, Alphabet's having a little bit of morning pullback to give us a little trouble as an intraday trader. So those are some things to kind of keep an eye on. For more information, I will say that we do a lot of this work in engineering the markets. It's the Monday through Thursday segment within the BBT chat room. So if you're looking for a more deep dive into some of these names, we highly suggest joining us in the BBT group and the community. Engineering the market being one of the segments where we cover expected move volatility and kind of getting a sense of where the market skews some of that approach, whether it be bullish, bearish, or neutral, along with even thinking about some bigger plays if things were to be higher than what the market is pricing, some anomalies or breaches. So because I don't have a lot of time, we're also going to shift a little bit into our election discussion. And when you look at today's trade, it basically feels like, okay, what stocks are in play today as far as bulls are concerned? We have stocks like DJT, which obviously leans towards the Trump candidacy. We have nuclear stocks, and I can always say that a little bit poorly. Those are also in play. Oklo being one that's a notable name. A lot of traders in our chat room have been trading those. SMR. I've been tracking even some smaller ones like NNE, and just kind of looking across the sectors that are performing well today amidst I'm going to call it a flat day. We started with a pre-market gap up. We haven't really lifted Friday higher lows. There's a little bit of a battle going on somewhere in the middle of our Friday ranges. So not a lot going on in the indices, but certainly some stocks in play with relative performance to the indices. And I kind of view this as either a lot of continuation because these stocks are not necessarily getting started with their uptrends. They're obviously in play for a couple of weeks, and we've seen some large positions get built and progress price throughout the period of October. There is a bit of a lean in the market right now for the potential of a Trump election. And a lot of our key stocks in play have been showcasing it, along with sectors. And I think this is kind of a more general idea. Certain sectors are seeing more profit taking and I would say lack of additional performance, with the potential that there could be some downside risk given that some of the policies that would come from that type of candidacy and I guess election would lean towards interest rates having some large volatility and shift. So some of our real estate trade that we've been seeing has been highly dependent on falling interest rates. And as you can see, more recently, specifically in October, the bond market has been very decisively moving back down to, I'm going to just call it support. It's not the low, but that would be maybe a more technical support. That impact and how it's been affecting, let's say, the longer dated yields, even in relation to the spread between more short dated notes and our longer dated bond yields, that's currently having a bit of a sideways, or I'll say distributive effect on interest rate sensitive sectors. And if that were to continue, or if the market has been pricing that in correctly, with the assumptions that I just proposed, that type of trade might be ending or starting to see further downside once that's fully confirmed. So, there's this idea in the market that there's a larger force behind the scenes, whether they're starting to take profit and ending a trend, along with what is the effect of the end of that move. And, I bring up real estate as kind of like a quintessential sector to keep an eye on. in the sense that we've seen a breakout, we've seen a nice range expansion, more in focus with the FOMC impacts, but this upcoming volatility that we're expecting might showcase a little bit more downside if there were confirmation that a particular candidate was elected. And I think that's going to be in focus and in watch, because a lot of market participants right now are just trying to figure out who kind of has the best shot at the candidate at the presidency. But in doing so, what would be a good risk to reward opportunity based on their assumptions? So if a person is leaning more towards one candidate being elected, that might transpire into sort of a good risk to reward for selling some of these trades, or maybe being a bit short biased. And then contrarian based, if something is going to continue, we would want to make sure that they're not in spots to provide a lot of risk. And that's kind of where today is kind of interesting, because we're seeing some big runs on liquidity. The one that really catches my eye today is DJT. Just in their location and their price risk, we know that they've had large markups already. But as far as their continuation potential, it's going to be, one, very dependent on who is chosen, and two, the idea that this could be in a good place to exit versus maybe, I would say, like create new positions. So this week is a lot about confirmations and making sure the stability of our marketplace through earnings can lead us into that post earnings election trade, which really will be the probably final month of the year, leading into hopefully just a resolute December. So lots of, I would say, questions left unanswered, but there's a lot to focus on. I would say interest rate sensitive sectors should be on watch. Earnings volatility this week, and every single day in the BBT chat room, we'll have more to cover there, along with taking some ideal situation based trades depending on the probabilities of whoever is voted to be president. And some of those groups of stocks will have some trade going on just in a profit taking sense, but even more so thinking about the shift in how the market perceives that risk depending on who is chosen. So hopefully that's helpful. It gives a couple stocks to maybe focus on, and I think the sector approach is a more general way to kind of view how we're expecting this volatility to change. So I've got one question in the YouTube side. How can we be so sure about overnight moves? How can I be sure about overnight moves? Apparently we're in positive gamma territories per spot gamma, which reduces volatility. So I'm confident that the multi-trillion market cap companies reporting anywhere between 5 and 7% of their expected volatility will move the Nasdaq, because that is a mathematical approach that can be calculated. The assumption here is that these assets are going to move. So in most of our earnings cycles, and we'll just look at Alphabet again, does Alphabet move? And the short-term answer is yes. I mean, I can easily look back at all three of our earnings periods. Alphabet is not a stock that remains nearby its previous day's closing price for earnings, because I can see all three of them here. So that alone tells me that the overnight shift in pricing, specifically for the Nasdaq, will be concentrated depending on how Alphabet moves. And if you don't believe that, you can actually pull up those 3 days and check the overnight activity in the Nasdaq, because they're all 3 historical and marked. So it'd be a nice homework assignment for you to just take a look at those 3 day before, day after, and look at where the Nasdaq was the next day. Is it higher or lower? And more specifically, gapped out. Those are going to be the more impactful days when you're actually breaking the higher low of the previous day, and balancing the previous day. So, okay. I think that's good for now. We're about, 25 minutes in. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I've got some work in the chat room to take care of, so we'll go ahead and call it. But hope everybody's having great trading success so far this morning. Get prepared for earnings. Get further prepared for the election volatility, and let's see how we trade through these overnight.